So are you recording?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. James.
I'm doing it. What?
How are you doing today, sir?
Doing a lot better than yesterday.
What was going on yesterday? Why weren't you doing as great as you are today?
I was being punished for my behavior.
Punished? Who would do such a horrible thing to you?
You would do it.
Your monitor?
And you would do it.
Your monitor would...
No, I'm talking to the people on the other side of the monitor. Believe it or not, there's a world outside of there.
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they would punish you?
Uh-huh.
For what?
Because I didn't listen to Mitch.
Oh, well, I was going to say, that's a horrible thing, but not listening to Mitch is pretty deserving of awful punishment.
Mm-hmm.
GameFront!
Update!
GameFront!
Update!
What was GameFront update? What was that last update?
Well, what I was trying to do is I was trying to flip it back and forth to you and me when we were talking, but there's like a 1 second lag.
It's a lag, yeah.
And when we have a tempo as fast as ours, and every note counts like it does, then I don't know. It's hard to deal with the camera lag.
Yeah.
God, I don't like controlling the camera is the problem.
It's not easy, is it?
No, it's really tough.
So James, let's talk about that thing that happened to you, the punishment, if you will. Let's just recap. Let's recap what exactly it was.
Well, first of all, I had failed at 3 challenges. I believe one of them was Volgar the Viking. One of them was Batman, and one of them was Ben 100. Is that right?
Ben 100?
I don't know who it is. Ben Wonderful 100?
No, you succeeded at Wonderful 100.
Oh, so I only had to lose 2?
You are completely off, James. Let me recap it. So you lost the Batman challenge, you lost the Resogun challenge, and that was what caused you to be forced to do this thing with the Stanley Parable. And basically what it was is there's an Easter egg in the Stanley Parable where you get to this one ending, and the narrator tells you to play this game that involves pressing a button and saving a baby from running into the fire. And you have to do that for 4 hours. And if you do that, you get the secret ending for Stanley Parable. I think you get an achievement for it as well. So James's punishment was to do that for 4 hours without using any bots or anything like that. Just do it on his own will.
Mitch?
Yes?
In all fairness, I don't think we can call that an Easter egg. That's just one of the many endings of the game.
Yeah, but it's something that not everyone is going to find, while playing the game. It's something that you really have to search for, which is what I consider to be an Easter egg.
I guess, but it's kind of like, I don't know, Call of Duty. Not everyone's going to be able to beat the game. It's a tough game. Not everyone's going to... Well, I don't know. I'm just saying not everybody's going to beat it. I'm saying that Stanley Parable has an ending where you push a button for 4 hours. If you want that ending, you get it. It's not an Easter egg.
All right, fine.
Or they're all
I'm
Easter
not going to argue
eggs.
semantics with you, James.
Damn, I love arguing semantics.
So James had to do that and he did it yesterday on Twitch. And
Yeah.
James, why don't you tell everyone what happened?
Well, first of all, I wanted to make sure I could archive. I wanted to make sure that I could archive all of these videos because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch. I'll be pissed if I was. After an hour, if you record more than an hour,
it's 2 hours.
It's 2 hours. Well, there it goes.
Maybe it's an hour and a half. There is definitely a limit.
There is definitely a limit. I was being safe and I was making sure it was just before an hour, just in case, because I didn't want to lose track, and it gives me a good buffer time. So the first time, after an hour of pushing the button, I said, please hold. And somebody had said to add a camera or whatever. So I did add a camera, but it was
That was me.
really...
I told you to add a camera.
So it's a lot your fault. I mean, I don't want to... First problem, not your fault. But what happened was I stopped the stream and I was like, oh, I'm going to zoom it in so it's a camera on my face. And so I did, and I did all this stuff. And when I got back in, I believe that I thought I was navigating the screen, but I was looking at the stream. So apparently I had exited the game. Is that what you said happened, Mitch? Because I actually didn't see the replay.
No, I think you hit some buttons while it was still controlling the menu of Stanley Parable, and you must have navigated it to begin the game again, and then when you all tabbed in, you must have accidentally hit a button that actually made it start the game again.
Well, it was tragic. And then
So yeah, that was about 45 minutes in, right?
It was about an hour. It was about 45 minutes in, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I played another hour, kept it. I made it to the dog part.
Which is 2 hours in, they introduce a second button that you have to press.
Yeah. And in all fairness, I would never have even hit it the first time if it wasn't for your help, Mitch. You were the one saying, James, listen, the guy's doing something. And all of a sudden, yeah. And
you weren't even paying attention.
Well, no, it's hard to focus on that for 2 hours straight. I was looking at chat messages from the users. I was talking to them. I was talking to you, Mitch. I mean, honestly, I was trying to be entertaining about pushing a button for 4 hours.
You did it, James. You surprised me. We had more people watching that than most people, than most times when I'm playing Splunky.
Yeah. That's which
is pretty hurtful to me, by the way.
Well, I mean, we advertised for this quite a bit, like on the other video. But nonetheless, what happened was I panicked. And I watched this replay several times because I wanted to know what happened. I panicked when that dog was coming, and I ran over there, and I pushed the button. And when I backed up to look at where the dog was at to gauge the time, I was like, I didn't think I had pressed the button because it was already almost down to the bucket. So I went forward to push it a second time and then I ran back to the baby, but the baby was burned.
Would it be possible, I don't want to make too much of an editing headache for you, but would it be possible to edit in the part where you failed into this GameFront update?
Oh, I don't know. I'm leaving for Vegas tomorrow. It would be pretty difficult for me to do that.
Well, we'll have it up sometime.
Yeah, maybe next week's. It's a pretty good punishment. Maybe we can have it on the next James versus Games.
Okay, then put it on my plate for editing.
Well, I can get it out. It's pretty simple. I watched it several times. It's like a 15-second... Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable.
What are you doing?
Well, the problem is my heel of my foot was stuck under the couch cushion, and I was trying to maneuver it so it was above the couch cushion. Anyways, so here's the major problem. I don't even know if I could have mentally handled it at the time. Because what was going on... Here we go. I need a big picture for myself. You literally, I counted it out, you basically have 4 seconds to push the button every time the baby is by the fire. 4 seconds. Now, I don't know because I lost so quick, but it looked like it was about 4 seconds for the dog. It wasn't like slow. When I started this, I thought it was going to be like, have to push the button every, 30 seconds. And then another was going to come for every 30 seconds. So I'd be, doing that. I would have had to push a button every 2 seconds, running back and forth. Eventually, I would have sneezed and the whole thing would have ended anyways.
It's not easy.
No.
So
sorry.
They make you work for that achievement.
Yeah. So I apologize. I took a lot of time just talking about that, but it was upsetting.
It was really funny though. Hopefully we'll get that video out with James failing at the dog part. Because first he had to freak out because he wasn't aware that part was happening. And then when he finally gets situated, he gets to the dog thing, and then he starts moving in the opposite direction as the other button. And the look on your face, James, was it was priceless. I laughed really hard.
Well, I watched it. Let me explain it one more time because I don't think you understand what happened. I went to the button and I pushed it, all right? And in my mind, it would have given me some sound. Like, I had the sound off. In my mind, it would have made some sign that I've pushed the button. And I backed up. The
sign was, James, that the dog was coming back up.
It wasn't coming back up. It went like this. Mitch. It went, me. It went like that. And then it was like, roar. Me. Roar. That's not fair.
All right, well, let's move on. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was the VGX awards, or it used to be the VGAs. Now, for whatever reason, it's now the VGXs.
I believe that reason is marketing.
Stupidest name I've ever seen. What does the X stand for? What could it possibly stand for?
It could stand for X-ray.
Video game, X-ray, video game. I guess it's to be like extreme or something like that.
Well, or examination, or I would say expo, but that's not an expo.
All of those words start with an E.
Not X-ray.
Okay, true.
Yeah, there's a lot of other words I could just throw out there, like Xerox, but that's a brand.
Anyway, the VGXs are this weekend, and I wanted to. I mean, it's too cliche to just go into a tirade about why the VGAs and the VGXs are so awful. But I figured, James, we could take a look at the nominees for Game of the Year and kind of just go over our thoughts on each of them. So I'm pretty sure between the two of us, we've played all these games.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sure. Are you talking like a? Never mind. I'm sure it's fine.
What?
It's probably my headphones. Well, I was going to say something just ridiculously ignorant. I was going to say, are you talking with static in your voice? But it was just some smart-ass thing I was going to say because I'm getting bad reception. It might not even be the YouTube thing or the Skype thing or the whatever we're doing.
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts.
Right.
It's hard to keep up with you kids these days and all the technology.
So let's talk about BioShock Infinite, James. You've played... I don't think you've beaten BioShock Infinite, but you've played a good amount of it, right?
Nah, I've probably played about 2 hours worth.
2 hours worth? All right. So what do you think about BioShock Infinite? Does it deserve from the 2 hour? Give us your shallow impressions of why BioShock Infinite deserves or doesn't deserve to be in the list of Game of the Year.
Wow. I hate to say it. I feel like. I have an opinion on almost everything, but I had a bad experience with BioShock because I was trying to run it on my PC, and to this day, I still can't get it to work right. It will work fantastic, and then there's a DX11 error that happens only in the downloadable content that I was making videos for GameFront for.
So it's a broken. So James says it's a broken piece of shit. It doesn't deserve to be listed as
that's
Game
not
of
what
the
I
Year.
said.
Let me just counter with say I think BioShock Infinite is a pretty amazing game. I've mentioned it so many times already. I've been the steadfast defender of BioShock Infinite in the GameFront chat rooms, and I don't know what else I can say that I haven't said already. I think the combat is amazing. I think the story was really, really good. The performances were outstanding, and yeah, I think BioShock Infinite, in my opinion, it's in the running for Game of the Year. And certainly for me, it's probably between BioShock Infinite and another game that's on this list as well. So let's forget BioShock Infinite. Let's talk about another game that I'm sure you'll have a better opinion about, Grand Theft Auto 5. James.
I mean, I loved the game, and I'm sure that I had given it some praise, but I thought long and hard about this, and I liked it a lot, but I don't think it deserves Game of Year.
Really?
I know. I can't believe I'm saying it, because I really enjoyed it, even for the frustration of waiting for online and everything. I loved the game.
I remember when it was the first week after Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, and we were on a call or something, and someone asked you what you thought about it, and you said that it was the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, online kind of ruined it for me.
Really?
I love the game. I think it's great, but the fact that they did such a bad job with online kind of changed my feelings on it. It's getting better, but like I said with SimCity before, like if you're gonna ruin that first part for me, it's hard for me to find excuses to keep coming back. And maybe I will. Grand Theft Auto was good enough that I'll probably go back and play some more online. But when I thought about it, I want video games to go more towards an art, and I thought the single player story was good. But when I'm thinking of like a story that I thought was really good, it's The Last of Us. I know the gameplay of that was, I mean, it's good. It's not bad gameplay, but what really sold me was the story, the voice acting, and I loved it.
All right, well, we'll get to Last of Us in a bit. I think Grand Theft Auto personally is going to be the front runner for the VGXs. I think this is probably going to be the one that's going to win. I personally don't think it should. It's really too much. It's I don't know. It's Grand Theft Auto, man. I've always had the same opinion of the Grand Theft Auto games. They're always amazing at the start. I'm always super into the new things that they do, but as it goes on, I'm kind of just getting sick of having to drive to each place, the repetition of going from mission to mission. Nothing in the actual open world is really that interesting for me to waste time with. It's not like a prototype or something like that where I can just mess around and have fun, like punting people 50 miles away.
I completely disagree with you, Mitch, because now, I think the game is a lot better than Prototype. A lot better.
Okay. I'm not saying it's worse than Prototype.
My major problem with Grand Theft Auto, if the story was as good as the story of The Last of Us, I would have voted for that. But the problem is none of the characters, to me, I was relating to. They were all bad guys.
You relate to the characters in Grand Theft Auto, in general? Because I know you're a big fan of the series.
Absolutely.
Really? You relate to Nico Bellic?
I'm not saying that I have a life similar to Nico Bellic.
Tommy Vercetti?
Well, hold on. You said Nico Bellic. That was my favorite character of all of them.
Nico was a great character.
Yeah, I felt like that character was really just trying to be a better person, but stuck in a world where the decisions he had to make were terrible. So I wanted him to be a good guy, and he wanted to be a good guy, but he lived a bad guy's life. Now, everything before that is less and less relatable, but that's the trajectory I want. I want the trajectory of video games to be more of like a movie that makes you see it at the beginning and feel like you've changed towards the end.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge, because I think Nico Bellic was kind of a character that can't really be replicated in the Grand Theft Auto series, because otherwise you're going to be doing the same kind of character. It's hard making a main character for the Grand Theft Auto series because of the fact that you have to do so many horrible things inside the actual game. It's kind of hard to make that a justifiable, it's hard to make a justifiable character who can do all that horrible stuff but still, be a likable character in the actual cutscenes of the game.
Yeah, I think that the answer was probably with Michael's character, because Franklin was already kind of the best guy. I would have liked...
I hated Franklin.
Well, I mean, of the characters, he was the one that was the least of an asshole. He was trying to do a good thing and kept getting wrapped up in bad stuff. But Michael was the one I felt needed to be the moral compass. Trevor, great job. That character was done perfectly. But they just needed a better balance of morality.
Right. Okay, let's move on. Super Mario 3D World. Now, you have not played. You've only played this game for James vs. Games. Personally, this is one of the ones that I think is with BioShock Infinite in terms of my favorite game of the year. It's just pure unadulterated joy playing Super Mario 3D World. It's a Mario game. It doesn't worry about story. It doesn't worry about all the other things that these games have to worry about in terms of
you're saying
character development and
Mitch,
all this.
Are you saying it's not paying attention to any of the things that I care about?
Yes.
And that's what you like about it.
And that's what I love about it. I love the fact that it's just a pure, straight up game. It's fully focused on the game design, levels, and they're all just so great, James. I love Super Mario 3D World. I wish I had more friends that could come over and play it with me, because that would probably put it over the edge. If I had people come over to play it with me, it probably would be my game of the year.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Good.
I think that game, as fun as it is and as great as it looks, is not helping the video game industry become an art form.
Oh, shut up with your freaking art form bullshit. Last of Us, speaking of art form, tell us why Last of Us is your game of the year, James.
Because I cried. There's special occasions that'll make me cry, but I mean, it was a touching story. Not only was the opening amazing, but then later on with Joel and his brother, and there's so many good things. I don't want to spoil it because I really feel like that's one of those games that people might not have gotten a chance to play, and I do think that they should. It was really good. I lent that game to, as you may know him, Lloyd, from the Epic Rap Battles of History. And he also agreed. He was like, this is the best game I've ever played story-wise. And he said it was an emotional thing. I forgot what he said he was doing. He was like someplace, and he was like just sitting there thinking about going back and playing the rest of it. And I feel like that's a rarity in games, like that you care about the story so much and the characters that you want to play through it.
All right, yeah. Don't take my my apathy for not liking Last of Us. I think Last of Us is a spectacular game. It didn't. After I finished it, I don't have the same glowing adoration of it that I do for BioShock, because BioShock Infinite was so much fun for me to play. Last of Us was an incredible experience, and I'm so glad that I got to play it. But it wasn't what I would call a supremely fun game going through the whole thing. Intense and, at times beautiful, but fun isn't the first thing that comes to mind when I think of The Last of Us.
Well, I'd argue there's a lot of things about Dark Souls that are not fun, but I still felt like it was a great game.
I disagree. I think there's a lot of aspects to Dark Souls that were a lot of fun, and the thing about Dark Souls, if you're gonna bring it up, Dark Souls had this intense satisfaction that you got after getting through a particular difficult battle. And those are the moments that kind of resonate with you after you get through Dark Souls. Last of Us didn't really had some story moments that really resonated with me, but as far as the gameplay went, not so much.
I would argue that
fantastic game.
Well, I mean, both are good, fantastic. But what my elbows, I don't know if you remember in the office, I used to go like this. And that's the thing that I feel most from Dark Souls now, is that I don't think my elbows have ever healed all the way.
All right, really quick, let's move on, because we wanted to keep this relatively short.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of failed already.
Long past that. We could always save the rest of this for next week when we talk about who did or did not win.
So let's really quick go over Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's not going to win. I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked if Tomb Raider didn't win, if Tomb Raider won. But once again, don't take that for me saying that Tomb Raider isn't a great game, because it is a fantastic game. In fact, when it first came out, I was saying this is the front runner for Game of the Year. Like, this is the game that games have to beat this year. And I really did love Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I mean, it was the game they had to beat, and a lot of games did. I've been playing Tomb Raider more recently on PC, and I like it. I haven't played that much of it, but I enjoy it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But would I say it's a front runner now for Game of the Year? No, I don't think so.
No, it's not going to win. I would be shocked. So yeah, those are our thoughts on the VGX nominees for Game of the Year, which I know they're not any more prestigious than any other Game of the Year awards, but they're the ones that are currently available to talk about right now. So VGXs are this weekend. And don't watch the VGXs for the awards. Watch them for the announcements of games that are going to be to come, which is pretty much what that award show is good for these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else, James?
If you're in Vegas this weekend at the Onyx Theater on Friday at 8 and Saturday at 8, I'll be performing improv comedy. The Onyx Theater, which is, I guess, pretty close to Circus.
No one goes to Circus.
No one would. I wanted desperately to book a hotel at Circus, but no one would stay with me, not even my girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if you're in Las Vegas, go give James a high five on how awesome his improv show is, and yeah, that's it for the GameFront update this week.
And don't forget to like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Bye-bye.